Hey. Light is horrible. What is this lamp doing? Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm gonna let more people come in. Welcome, welcome. Grab your notebooks, your pens, anything that you think you want. Hey, Marlene. All right, so let's get us a little candle action going on. Yeah, I like this little candle. It was $3, and it burns really good. All right, y'all. So I definitely want to let more people come in, so you have a little bit of time to go grab some water, your pens, your pencils, notepad, journal. I would advise possibly writing this in your journal. Something that you can look at, reflect on, and all of the above. Make sure I am in frame, because I'm not. So I'm going to slide this. You're going to get a little see, just a little bit. All right. And that should work. But thank you all for joining tonight. This is not our traditional journal with me, where I would build a page from scratch. I already did this. You can actually watch the video before that, and then you'll be able to see how this page developed. But our overall purpose of this meeting, see, I sound like a meeting, of this video is to talk about a meeting I attended today. And to give you all some tips that they gave me, I thought would be great to share with women. A lot of things that we don't think of, small tips you can take and actually start utilizing today and tomorrow. I know some of you may watch this while you're in the car, you're listening, so you may just be listening right now. And then some of you may be building the page with me together. But like I said, everybody can use some of these tips, okay? So I think once we get to the 3-minute mark, 3.5-minute mark, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and everybody else can catch the replay, because I will leave this video up while I'm waiting on them. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and flip this over and add a little bit more washi, because I'm sure that I'm going to use the other side. Oh, that's my timer on the microwave, y'all. That was for y'all. That was to make sure that I was ahead of the game and I wasn't playing around, because I can get sidetracked. So all I'm doing right now is just putting some washi. Do you need washi? No. But if you feel like this is going to make you more motivated to open your journal, by all means, pull out everything. Hey, everybody popping in. And if you want to title this, if you want to write it in your planner, safety tips. Yeah, safety tips. You probably listed as safety tips. That's what we're going to go over. And I'm going to tell you about what I did today. So, yeah. So, my friend had reached out to me last week, and we were talking about sex trafficking and how it's really bad here in Atlanta, and just a lot of, and I'm in Metro Atlanta. I'm on the outskirts, okay? So, I'm not in the city. I'm on the outskirts, on the outside. And we were also talking about a lot of the crimes and things that are occurring. I know this may be different in each city. Some cities may have more of it. Some cities may have less. However, everything that I learned today is something that you can take with you. And I am that person, okay? I am that person that I'm going to ask questions. If you watched my video earlier, you heard me talk about I actually went to school for criminal justice. Before I even attended college for criminal justice, I was that child that would watch all of the shows. I would watch, what do you call that, America's Most Wanted, and scare the heck out of myself. But then I had to go research it. I would read newspaper articles, because we didn't have all this quick, fast social media like we have now. I just was that type of child. I would watch the news, to keep up. And then I had to get to a point where I couldn't watch the news as much because what you feed your mind will stay in your mind. So you kind of have to be a little cautious about that. Yes, in Pine, I'm very close to Decatur. I actually went to high school in Decatur. And it's real. When I say it's real out here, it's really, really real. Where I for it in the United States. Don't quote me, but I'm almost 95% sure that we are number one. Now, here's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. They think it's simply teenagers, but a lot of us look young. So they're targeting who they want to target. And it's not who you would think. Most people, we're looking for somebody that looks scary, somebody that looks like, oh my gosh. Some of them are dressed in business clothes. A lot of them work with women. Some of the ladies and kids that they target are the people that they target you with, okay? So a lot of this is all about being aware of your surroundings and actually educating yourself. While we want to protect ourselves, you also need to educate yourself so that you know what's going on in your city. Familiarize yourself with officers. I'll be honest. Again, if you watched my video before, hopefully you watch it. I told you, as an African American, we do have this thing where we're a little standoffish when it comes to cops and communicating. But at this stage, I'm like, let me go talk to these people and see what's going on. And Pine, it's not even about if you're attractive. It's really, it's deep, y'all. And another thing about Atlanta, we have the busiest airport in the world, okay? So that makes it a definite target spot. So people are being trained in reference to people in the airports, if a person looks a certain way. So a lot of that's going on. But we have a lot of car theft. And one of the areas that they talked about a lot was gas stations. And so I really kind of want this to be an interactive live so we can kind of talk, so I can kind of see where y'all are and how you pay attention to things that you do. And y'all, let me show you. I was playing no games. I was playing no games as far as this. Yes, I understand what you just said, the last comment, but these are two different instances. And right now, again, the area that I live in, we're at the point that we have to ask them, like, what should we be looking for? What's going on? Who are they targeting? How are they targeting? What area? Where to stay away from? These were the questions that I was asking y'all. So it was actually a good event that they had. So it was a community-based event. And this is not the right page. So what I did, y'all, so it was at 8 o'clock. I decided to drop my son off and mosey on down to Bojangles. Okay, it was a meeting at Bojangles, and I was early. I was there maybe like at 7:50. My friend met me up there, and so we decided to go in. So when I say I was taking little notes, I jotted my notes. I do shorthand notes sometimes. So I went through and I was just writing all these different little things. So while I was in there, I was like, I should go live and share some of the things that I learned. We have a platform, and why not use it for good? I love paper. I love stationery. Talk to you all day about stationery, but why not use the stationery to keep us safe? So I'm going to give a couple of tips first. I would say look into your local community and see if they have meetings. Most communities do. If they don't have meetings, you can actually request one. You just find out who's over your city and the police precincts, and you reach out, okay? There's an app called Neighborhood Watch. So look that up. Most places have it, but it's an app called Neighborhood Watch. You put in your zip code and it gives you a lot of information. Now, with that being said, y'all, Be mindful if you're going to download the app. If you know you're a person that can be your anxiety can be high and you can be really, really nervous all the time, it may not be the app for you. I'm the type, I have it where it comes to my email. I took the actual app off of my phone because, again, I told y'all, I'm really, really like, I sit and watch shows like that, but I also have to say, okay, Adrian, scale back because now you're scaring your own self. So I just took the app off because I would have been the type looking at all the counties, different streets, and all of that stuff. So I do have the alerts that come to my phone. I did actually get one of the officers' numbers where I can get more resources and put things together. So you want to find out who your local community advocates are and reach out to them. Find out. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch the news that often like I used to. I limit myself. Like, I'll make sure I know what's going on in my area, but I'm not going to watch it every single day because technically the news is not really going to show you a lot of good things. They're going to show you everything wrong. So that's one thing that I take. So, okay, I'm going to do the first thing. You can download an app and it's called Neighborhood Watch. Or you can sign up for it. So you can either download it or sign up for it, neighbor. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Y'all know when I be talking and writing, it don't work out. It doesn't. Hold on. Let's try this again. Okay. Whew. Neighborhood Watch. Okay, so it's an app. Is it night leave or knee leave? And a lot of times I'm reading the comments and I'm not always watching your name, but is it knee leave or not leave? So you're going to download the Neighborhood Watch. Remember, if you know that you have like anxiety, you may not want to do that app. So this is if you can handle it, then you can do that, okay? So that's that. So you're going to download the app. You're also going to reach out or know where your precincts are, okay? Do you know where like a police station is, your closest police station? I know about most of mine. And we'll talk about why you should know where those are. Lord, I don't even know which was the first one I said. Okay, so you're going to download Neighborhood Watch. That's one. You're going to find out where your local precincts are. That's two. And that's kind of easy to do. Just put in your address and then you are going to put local police precincts. I would say learn where at least 3 or 4 of them are. Just gotta know. Learn your area. So I'm gonna put that too. Learn your area. So learn your area. And when I say learn your area, if you go the same way back and forth to your house, you're already making one mistake. So you need to learn your area. I don't care if you drive, if you ride public transportation, learn different routes, different areas, because people do watch your patterns, okay? So that's another thing. So you want to learn your area. Now, I'm going to speak to everybody. Again, even if you drive, even if you are on the bus line, even if you ride the train, let's do a couple of questions. So let's ask questions. Do you know how long it takes for a person to approach you? Now, we're going to say if you're driving. If you're driving and you stop at the gas station, do any of you know how long it takes for them to approach you and steal an item out of your car or steal your car? So let me know if you kind of know that. Not that quick. It's up to 30 seconds. So it's up to 30 seconds. Now, we're going to talk about what most women aren't. And I don't like to categorize this, but it just is what it is. We're not alert. So you want to learn how to be alert. Okay, so we're going to write the word be alert. Okay, so you're going to want to be alert. In today's society with social media and the phone, we have been so conditioned to scroll, scroll, scroll. We want to see stuff like all of us do it, and it's subconsciously done. Often when you park in parking lots, gas stations, we're going to start with the gas station first, and then we're going to work our way around to stores. When you park in, most people pull in the gas station, they're not as alert as they think they are. You pull into the gas station, most women are fumbling, trying to figure out where their card is, what they're going to do, and then they get out of the car. Do you know the first thing you're supposed to do when you get out of your car? So the first thing you want to do when you're getting out of your car is, so lock your door is right. You're going to scan the area before you even get out of your car. So when you're pulling into the parking lot of a gas station, you're going to look at the overall gas station. You're going to pay attention to where cars are parked, how they're parked, if at all. And this is the quote that he gave. He said, if a gas station feels sketchy, it probably is, okay? So if you pull into a gas station and you're feeling like, I don't know, go with your first instinct. I have been in the situation where I pulled into a gas station, a car pulled up with 4 guys, and I was like, yep, nope, not today. And I'm talking about the car was close to being on E. I pulled out of the parking lot. I would rather run out of gas in the middle of the street than to pull up to a pump next to sketchy looking situations, okay? So first thing you want to do is when you pull into the parking lot, you want to scan the area. You want to pay attention to who's in the cars. How do they look? All of them are not, again, everybody's not going to look sketchy like they have on hoods. Be mindful of when people walk up to you. So I'm going to give you a little example yesterday. So yesterday I went to the post office. My post office is next to a barbershop. Barbershop's full of guys. And it's also in the parking lot with the gas station. And so I always, when I pull up, I'm looking at the car. I'm very strategic about where I park. If it's a van, a truck, or people, just a whole lot of people in the cars, I'm not parking next to you. And so I parked, looked around, got out the car. I already had my mailbox key ready. So that's another thing with ladies. We're typically fumbling. You're going through your purse. You're trying to do so many things when you're out in the open, which makes you vulnerable. I really don't like to carry purses. I just don't. Usually if I do, it's going to be a crossbody bag. But if I can go somewhere without carrying a purse, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to carry a purse. So I got out the car, and as I'm walking, this guy says, "Hey, Queen, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I kept it moving, right? I'm moving a little fast. I already had my keys in my mailbox, dropped off orders, went in. There's an older guy. Again, when you're walking into places, you want to be very aware of your surroundings. A lot of us, and you're going to hear me say women a lot in this whole video, we don't pay attention. When you're getting out the car, look around, you know what the car was next to you. What are you seeing? In a span of seconds, you should be able to know what you saw. So I saw the guy. He had this African type attire, hat on. He was short. He had black pants. He was dark skinned. He was walking real swift. He was to the left-hand side of me. I was on the right-hand side. I was walking in the door. When I walked in the door, the post office was busy to the left-hand side. There was an older guy in front of me with some gray jogging pants on, writing out on an envelope, and my mailbox was to the left. By the time I got to my mailbox, turned the key, the same guy from outside was coming in, and he's like, "Hey, miss, I really want to give you this book." I said, "No, thank you." That's another thing. They like to approach and try to give you stuff. And I'm not saying that he necessarily was somebody, but the way that the world is now, you have to be really, really careful. So as he was trying to hand me the book, I'm saying, no, thank you. Have a nice day. He's coming this way. I'm curving around. And the older guy was like, all right now. So there are always people looking out too. So you want to be really, really careful when people try to approach you. I don't care if they're in a double-breasted suit and they look dressed to the nine. Those are some of your target people that want to target you. They look nice. They smell good. They want to get close to you. That one person is there. There's other people looking around you. So once he walked and I did my quick little curve, I put a little extra pep in my step and I got to my car. Once I got in my car, I locked my door. When you get in your cars, make sure you always lock your doors. Don't sit in the parking lot fumbling through your phone, checking social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Why? If you think about why are we checking it, there's nothing really that important that you put your safety into jeopardy, okay? So needless to say, your girl was in that car and peeled on out of that parking lot, okay? It was gone. It's like, no. So you want to be aware of your surroundings. Do you know what's in front of you, on the side of you? Can you see what's going on? If the area looks sketchy, are you strong enough to leave? If you got to run out of gas, you got to run out of gas, okay? Hey, Shauna. So be aware of your surroundings. Check. So hold on, let's go back. So you want to be aware of your surroundings. When pumping gas, I'm going to write this. Let's just say when stopping at the gas station. So when you're stopping at the gas station, you need to survey the area. The questions that you want to ask in your mind: do you feel safe? How is the area? If you can you wait? Right now, let's not get it twisted. Don't think because you live in a good area, they're not going to target you, because they are. And again, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is just based off of the area that I live in. We have a lot of areas here that are like Ritzy, Buckhead, Johns Creek. And you would hear people on the news like, oh my gosh, I just never thought anything would happen over here. And I'm like, bruh, like y'all have high-end cars. Like they're targeting like low-end cars. However, you have to be careful. And that's another thing that happened. One of the officers was making mention of a lady that got followed home. And he was like, she's, you know, let's just call it what it is. She's flashy. And of course, nobody should take your stuff, and you should be able to live how you want to live, but we just got to be realistic. Well, one of the things that she was doing, she was coming out of a store and she was on her phone. And so what happens is you don't know where they're parked and you don't know who's watching you, and they travel in sets. So that's something that you need to kind of keep in mind. You may see somebody else that looks sketchy, but you still want to survey that, look around everything else. So they literally follow her all the way home. And, you know, luckily she was able to get out of that situation. But that's things that you want to be really, really careful about. If you're on the phone, do you have an earpiece in your ear? Don't have your phone up to your ear. Make sure you're still looking around. And this was not at a gas station. This was coming out of a grocery store. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. You have to be mindful when you're going to other locations, and it's also the holidays, so people are out a little bit differently. So when stopping at the gas station, and this can even apply to when you're going into the parking lots at stores, do you feel safe? How is the area? With the gas station, avoid the outside pumps. So that was another thing they told us today. So avoid outside pumps. It does not mean that they won't try to target you inwardly. However, with the outside pumps, they typically will skim. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with skimming is, and all it is they're putting in a device that's going to read your card. So a lot of your skimmers will be on the outside. or the outside pump. So you want to kind of not park there, and that's easy access for them to grab your car and go. So you want to kind of park on the inside. One of the officers also said try to park close to the door, which was interesting. I didn't know that part. So park close to the door. Also, if you learn who your officers are, they will tell you which gas stations to avoid. So, like, it's probably a good idea to kind of learn who your community officers are, because they will tell you. So they kind of gave me a rundown of, it wasn't maybe stop there. It was not stop there early in the day. It was don't stop at that gas station. And it was already one that I had marked off of my list, but they were and it's not far. Like, that's one of those, like, oh, I need to hurry up and run to get some gas. Officer was very, very strategic in saying, don't stop at that gas station. I don't even like going in that parking lot if I don't have to. So if your officer is saying that, that's something that you want to, learn. So you want to learn what gas stations not to stop at. Be mindful of stopping at gas stations near exits. So you got to think in the mindset of a criminal. What is the easiest access? If I'm near a highway, all I have to do is take the car and jump on the highway, and I'm out of there. So avoid your highways, avoid sketchy areas. And most of you know what your sketchy areas are. If you are new to a town, ask. If you're new moving in, don't be afraid to ask people, like, okay, so what area do I need to steer clear of? I probably pass about 8 gas stations that I will not go to. I just won't. Like, I say it all the time. I could be on E. I would run out of gas in the middle of the street. Speaking of E, don't let your cars get low and down on E. Try to fill your tank up on half. Now, I get it. Sometimes our money's a little funny. That's one thing. But if you have the funds, and I know we don't like stopping to get gas, but fill up when it's on half, it actually saves you more money. And it keeps from putting you in a position where you're like, I have no choice but to stop, okay? So park close to the door. Fill up on half. Now, to my ladies that are married, have significant others, let me talk to y'all real quick. And I ain't one of y'all. How else than ever, when I was one of y'all, I've never been married, but in relationships, I never filled up my car. I don't know the dynamics of your relationships, but if you have open communication, this may be the time that you want to have real dialogue with your significant others. The holidays are coming around. It's getting cold. Car theft is a little different. And let's just say chivalry needs to come on back to life. So don't be afraid to ask them, like, hey, can you take my car and fill it up on Sunday and Wednesday? As long as my dad was living, I didn't have to fill up my car that often, y'all. Like, my dad would take my mom's car. He would take our car, wash our cars. Like, so that's just something, if that practice can be implemented into your relationship, let them take your cars, your daughter's cars, anything that keeps you out of harm's way. Try it. Like, ask. And a lot of times communication is key. They might not know. It depends on how they were raised. All you might have to say is, hey, babe, like, listen, I get a little nervous filling up the gas tank. Can you take my car? Now, if he say no, I don't have no other advice for you. That's a whole nother story, whole nother video. But I would suggest start asking, can that happen? Can y'all go together? Whatever the case may be. Whatever you can do to make yourself safe. So you want to fill up on half, park close to the door, avoid outside gas pumps. You want to survey the area. You're looking for, does it look safe? Do you see a car with a lot of people in it? You want to make sure you lock your doors. Keep your purse off of the front seat. Most women, when you get inside of the car, the first thing you do is you toss the handbag on the front seat. When you get out of the car, you don't lock the door. You've already given the person access to what they want. What happens with sliders? So let's just say this is the car coming in. If your car has the gas pump on this side, your driver's side, and this is your passenger side, when you get out the car, you done tossed your hand, like you done grabbed your whatever you're gonna pay with. You've tossed the handbag on the passenger side. You did not lock your door. This, they call them sliders. The slider is not going to stand up straight. The car is going to be wherever it is when they pull up. He's going to will be kneel down, crouch down, open up your door, grab your bag, run off, peel out of the parking lot. By the time you really realize your bag is gone, they said most people are already at their next destination, okay? So you want to make sure you're getting out the car, you're locking the car, you're keeping your keys in your hand where you have easy access, and you're not turning your back, and you're not on the phone. Put the phone down. Whatever you and your home girl or your homeboy or your significant other are talking about, and you're holding a phone to your ear, well, first of all, you shouldn't be on the phone pumping the gas. If it decided to spark, you know, you just want to blow up, and that ain't really the move in life. So you do want to be careful with that, because the radioactive and the spark, boom, just not really a good situation. But you don't want to be on the phone because you want to be alert. Another thing ladies have a tendency to do when pumping the gas, we have a tendency to have our backs turned. I don't know how to describe it, but let's say this is the pump. Your back may be turned. That car can come in right here. It can come in right there. You need to be looking around on a swivel like you done stole something. That's what you need to look like. You need to be so alert that you look like, okay, what is wrong with her? So you want to make sure that when you're pumping gas, you don't have your back turned. Another tactic that they do, gas, they may come up and they may say, hey baby girl, what's going on? They already know that the average woman is going to be so focused on that conversation, and they're going to redirect you where you're not looking at your driver's side or the front of your car. And so they'll have access, because you didn't lock your door, to get in and pull that purse out. And this is just the safest side. This is you're sitting in your car and you're on your phone texting or scrolling good old social media, minding everybody's business but your own, and they're at the car in less than 30 seconds with a gun to your head saying give it up. Okay, so these are the things that they were talking about. Like, ladies, you just got to be more in tune. And it's not to scare you or anything, but it's more so for you to be a little more alert, and don't think that you can't be a target. Okay, so let's look at these notes, y'all. Let's look at these notes. Do y'all have any questions? I know this is live. Y'all ain't really getting the whole journal with me, cutesy frill type stuff. But when I went in there, I was like, they need to know this, okay? So we talked about the gas stations. Exactly. If you don't have gas, y'all don't. I'm like, shoot, who can I call? Need to call somebody. Like, come get my car. So the gas station. Oh, if you go inside of the store and you have to come back out, we already know it's locked, but you also want to look in the back seat, and you kind of want to pay attention to when you're walking. Like, when you're walking, kind of look under to see if you see anybody on the sides of the car. Yeah, and you know what? And I can even say this for us that if you're single, we have people that we can ask. We just have to get out our own way. Like, I don't want to be a bother. At this point, I'm about to be like, hey man, listen, need my gas pump. So you want to just be alert coming out of the store as well. Now let's talk about the stores, because a lot of people are going to start shopping. A lot of people are also going to start ordering more stuff on Amazon. Shopping. Even when you're going shopping, grocery store, Walmart, the mall, you also need to be alert with where you're parking and looking at the cars. Now, they do have a thing going around on social media that tells you different tactics on what to do. Everybody's posting it everywhere. If I can find it and grab it, I'll post it in the community tab section. But when you're parking in parking lots, and it's interesting when I read this, because this is something that I just did like out of habit. When I park, if I feel uncomfortable, oh, homegirl is reversing right out that parking spot. And I have done it several times where when I pulled in, there was just a guy just sitting there, just sitting in the car. And I was really, really uncomfortable. So I was like, yep, nope, I'm have to go on and back this car out. And there's been times that I left the whole store. Like it just was, it's not that deep. So go with your gut instincts if you feel a certain way. If it just does not feel right, go with your gut instincts. When you're parking, at all costs, don't park by a van. Even if it's the last parking spot, you just don't need to go in. Don't park by a van. When you're going to your car, look at both cars on the side of you. If there's a guy sitting in the car by himself and you feel really, really uncomfortable, just don't go in. Women will try to approach you. At this day and age, I don't let nobody approach me. Ma'am, I'm good. Like, they can't even really get the sentence out of their mouth. Like, ma'am, can I just, no, thank you. And I'm always going to put that little no thank you on there. But be mindful of taking things from people when they want to walk up to you. When they have the posters of, we lost everything that we had. I know people want to be generous around holidays, but that is one of the biggest scams, is when they'll have like a baby and they'll be walking. That's one of your scams. Another scam will be, oh, and I don't know why they say this scam, y'all, but they're like, oh, I ran out of gas. Matter of fact, near my post office. Yeah, my post office, I be running in and out. But near my post office, this guy walked up to this man and was like, sir, do you have $10 you can loan me until my next pay period? Bruh, really? And I can't even say what I really want to say, but really? Like, you're never going to see that man again, and you just don't let that person get that close to you, because that's an easy target. And usually while they're talking to you, remember, they travel packs, okay? So one of your biggest things, we lost everything we had. Can you help me out? And they want to walk up to you. They always want to approach. Don't allow them to approach you. So just be careful where you're parking. Even when you're in the store, be careful. There was one time I was at a Kroger and I was in the store and it was two guys. And this guy was like, yeah, hey, I just moved here. And he tried to walk up. I said, you get a little too close, homie. Like, so here's a little thing about me, y'all. I can be real smooth and relaxed and calm. But that little inner hood sometimes can come out when necessary. Don't allow people to get that close to you. Watch your kids. Don't allow them to run off like you normally would like them to do. So you just have to be a little more alert. Right, autism mom. Right? She made a good point, y'all. She said they'll send kids up to talk to you. Kids, women. So yeah, you have to be really, really careful with that. I'm trying to think what else. Y'all, I was literally in there for 2 hours, and it wasn't like a scary conversation or anything. They was just being like I said, listen, can I take my notes? They said, yeah. So we was just talking, asking different questions. By the time I left, I met with one of the coordinators so that I could actually put an event together for more women in our area. So y'all can actually do these same things in your area. So we also talked about, okay, in reference to the sex trafficking, because a lot of people have kids, teenagers, and it was like, so what should be done? Hey, Iris, what should be done? And so, of course, they asked, did I have a kid? I'm like, yeah, I have a child. And I was like, look, I'm that mama. I'm going to check your social media. I'm going to check your browser history. We talk about this stuff. And he was like, you're doing the right thing. But what he said, one of the ways they target kids is now through dating apps. And most of us, when we think of dating apps, you're thinking, oh, it's just for adults. Well, you also have to think some kids are a little grown, acting or mature. I'm not mature, wanting to be mature. So they're gonna go into spaces, and if they don't have the parents that watch what they do, there's the easy access in. Yep, not going out too late is another thing. In reference to the gas, let me piggyback back to the gas. Try not to pump the gas late. It's not to say that they don't target during the day, but if at all possible, don't go out super, super late and don't go out super, super early. Let's see what else we have. But with your kids, you want to monitor what they do. Um, you want to educate them. A lot of times we want to shelter kids. I'm not that type of parent, but a lot of parents are. Where I'm just not going to talk to them about that. And it's one of those things that you could have said that probably could save more kids because they just don't know. They're targeting kids with money. Money is a huge thing. You got to teach your kids. You don't take no money from nobody else. If I ain't give it to you, your family didn't give it to you, the ones that you know that I approve of you giving it, you're not taking money from anybody else. Your kids that play video games, you have to be mindful of that because they have access to them through video games. Just be really, really careful. We talked about the airport. They're training flight attendants and everybody what to look for in reference to that. Again, I'm in Atlanta, the busiest airport. That's why it's #1 for sex trafficking. And it's happening not just in the city of Atlanta, but it's on the outskirts as well. Holidays. Let's talk about holidays. And I'll go back. We mentioned shopping briefly. We mentioned shopping briefly, and with the shopping, if you're an Amazon shopper, which a lot of us may be, during the holidays, if you have access to an Amazon locker or you can get your stuff sent to an Amazon locker, you may want to do that because thieves are not going to go around looking for packages on the doorsteps. Just is what it is. If you have the Ring system or the recording systems on your doorbells, what they did say, we mentioned that app earlier, download Neighborhood Watch. Before posting on Neighborhood Watch, call the cops. So they said one thing that happens is people want to post all that information first on Neighborhood Watch, and criminals are going to be on Neighborhood Watch too because they're going to want to know if you keeping up with what they're doing. So they said you just let them know, tell them you have the footage, and you send it to them. And that allows them to start working on the case. What else, y'all? I think that's mainly it. I just really wanted y'all to be kind of just be more alert. Put the phone down. Phone ain't that serious. So like your safety comes before the phone. Safety before social media. That might be a journal page. I might do that on the next page. Safety before social media. Talking to your friend about what somebody did. Get your gas and get on first, and then you can talk to her. Pausing in the car. I know I mentioned this briefly earlier, but just sitting in the parking lot, let that go. When you get in the car from when you come out of the store, lock your door, turn that car on, and get on. And another thing he mentioned, and I talked to several different officers. It was women and men officers. Another thing that was mentioned was be alert in watching your car. Like, is somebody following you? And they said if you feel like somebody is following you, just to make sure that you know, like, you'll do something like you'll slow down and you'll stop. Hey, Purple Paisley. You'll slow down and kind of stop a little bit, and then you make a turn. If they make that turn, you make another turn. If they make that other turn, you do not go home. You redirect and go somewhere else, okay? So that's things that you want to keep in mind. And that goes back to me saying, do you know where your local precincts are? So a lot of people don't know where their local precincts are. Or do you know where a well-lit area is where you can go if that car is following you? So again, we are in holiday season. It's a little different if you park your car on the outside of your house and I know it's getting cold for a lot of places, and you want to warm your car up, make sure you have an extra key where you can get in your car and you can lock your car, because that's the easiest way they're going to steal your cars, because they're going to see the car, they're going to see the smoke. They ride around the neighborhood, and they hop in the car and they steal your car. Yep. 4 left turns. Yep, and the remote starter is good too. So everybody's giving good tips, y'all. So if you're watching the replay, make sure you scroll through the comment section too. Yep. So yeah, those are tips that I wanted to tell y'all. And so what I'll do tonight, y'all, is I'll actually do the recap of like how it was, like the people I met. They were very personable. Like we even were able to laugh about some stuff. So it was really cool. It was really cool. So one challenge I would give y'all is to look in your local area and see if they're when their next event. They actually said they host something like once a month. So it's really interesting. I'm like, okay, I got to pull it together and be more involved. So they're actually going to do another one this month, but the focal point will be on holiday shopping and tips on what to do. Another tip was when you're buying new ticket items, which I already knew this and I did this, don't put the boxes outside, y'all. So if you know you're buying a big screen TV, don't put the box of the big screen TV outside. One officer said, cut it, flip it, which I already did. Put it inside out. He said, wet it. Because nobody's going to want to touch wet items. So that's that. Does anybody have any questions? Right. Pine, you can also put it in your trunk. And then there are certain counties that have dumping sites that you can go to. Now, everybody ain't going to want to go to a dumping site. But, yep, that is another thing. Hey, China. So, yeah, definitely. I just want y'all to be safe. It just was an informative meeting. And I was like, why not bring the content to y'all? And then y'all can actually share it with your friends and stuff. If you know you're going to go out places alone by yourself, text your friend and just let them know where you're going. Or a family member, especially if you're going to an unfamiliar spot. For my ladies that are dating, your friend should know where you're going. Somebody needs to know where you're going. Thank you. Somebody should know where you're going. Ladies that are going out, travel in packs. I know some of this is, you should know it, but it's okay to go over this every now and then. If you drink something and you put the drink down and you turn your back, that's just some money lost, okay? Don't pick up that glass. Check on your friends. Let them know these tips. Mind you, if you're on the phone and they like, girl, I'm at the gas station. I'm going to need you to go ahead and pump that gas and call me after you pump that gas. That needs to be your new statement. And tell them to pay attention. Because whatever they're talking about, they can call you back once they're back in the car. Pine, I'm telling you, if we come together, we go together. Like, it's not, And if you have daughters, y'all, educate them. Let them know some of these same tips that I'm telling you, even sons. Like, let them know what's going on. Don't try to hide everything from them. This is just not the time to not tell them. Yes, and I think that's what has happened. We've gotten away from that, like the whole communication. I was talking to one of the officers. This actually was sent to me. This is a clever fox. This is a clever fox. With the taser, gun, and pepper spray, you got to check with your state. Gun, if you're registered, you can get. If you're going to get a gun, make sure you know how to use it. Make sure you go to training. Make sure you're actually shooting the gun enough, like going to the gun range. Pepper spray, it just depends on your state. The taser, I'm actually going to ask them some questions about that at our next meeting. I read somewhere that the taser rate with police officers is 50%. So just with the lay person is going to be less than 50%. So I am going to ask them what are some safety tactics and measures that people can get. Y'all, what Miss Unique said with the keys in between your hands. Every time I get out of the car, I wish I had my keys over here. So we're gonna pretend that this is a key. When I'm out of the car, my keys are like this. So if they get close enough and you have to stab me, you don't have anything, you do as forceful as possible, and your elbow is very, very sharp. Yes, but definitely check your state laws, because listen, as crazy as this sounds, you could actually be charged for something even in a self-defense situation if it was something illegal. So be careful, check your laws. That's why I go into these meetings asking them, what can you use, what's lawful, what self-defense techniques that you can use. I highly recommend that you make sure you check with your state. Y'all, there's a company. I went to I can't think of the name of it. I went to a class. It was a self-defense class. Oh, one of y'all might know what it is. It's a known company. And most of their items, and I feel like, Pine, this is what you're talking about. Their items look like regular everyday items. On the keychain, it just looks like a really cute little hanging little thing for the keychain. But if you go to the airport, they're going to take it away. But it looks like, it almost looks like a chain of balls, but it's sharp enough it'll take them out. Once I can figure out the name of that, I'll let y'all know too, because I actually want to host a session with this company. Okay, this one is not at the, this is an actual company. For people that carry, they actually have a handbag that holds your gun in a holster. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff out there. If you all are, like, if you do carry and it's a group of y'all, go to the shooting range. Go together, make sure you're up to date with that. Because you don't need to be hitting everybody else. Because you got to think your adrenaline rushes in the event. I don't think we have one of those. But yeah, y'all, so definitely get in the know. Y'all know I'll say this all the time. We find all of the, time to scroll social media. And y'all know my saying, we mind everybody's business but our own. But in this case, you can learn and educate yourself too. So take that time, invest in you, invest in knowing what's going on in your community. What are some things that you can do to be alert? And, don't live in fear, but just be in the know. Be in the know. So I think, yeah, y'all, we almost been out here for an hour. But I do think I'm going to write what I just told y'all, safety before social media. So let's write that real quick. I can do that little bit for y'all. Wow. And if y'all know anybody that can benefit from this video, you know the deal. Go ahead and save you can save it and you can share it. My pens are going to be from all over China. 2 videos, and I need to add it on this. 2 videos. Matter of fact, in the comment section, you should see some of the pens listed on here with the link. But I think 2 videos ago, I listed my Amazon store, which is an affiliate link. But it'll list most of the pens that I use. Yeah, so I have to revisit the laws here in Georgia. Um, I know they make look. They be like, you ain't getting on here with nothing, and I get it. I understand why we can't. But the airport is when you want most of this stuff for real. Okay, so y'all know I'm gonna go and do kind of like an outline thing. Let's see what color we are gonna outline with. I think I want to outline with this purple. So yeah, y'all think it's safety before social media. So if somebody says, what does that mean? Like, girl, pump your gas and get off of the doggone phone. Oh, China, gonna speak that in the future. That's actually something that I do want to do. I want to do a journal tour. I would like to travel to different states and host journal sessions. Yeah, that is in my future, near future, I'm claiming. Minnesota. And I've never been there. And that would allow me to check off more states. And I would make sure my child, because he over here in the corner trying to act like he quiet in the kitchen, but he's not. But I would make sure that my child can actually go too, so we can check off the map. Oh yeah, I would have to come in the summertime, because I can tell you who will not be in Minnesota in the fall and or winter would be this one over here. I'm a true Southern belle. Okay, I don't like cold weather, not even a little bit. It was in the 20s today. That was real rude. Oh, now I don't live in I ain't Mississippi country now. I'm country. No offense to anybody from Mississippi. Oh, see, all of that. Snow and all of that. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. But while I'm doing this, y'all, another so now this is just a suggestion. I don't know how this is gonna happen. I think, and I'm feeling like we gotta protect our babies a little bit more, and the over posting of them. I'm not saying you can't post your kids, but you gotta be a little careful about how much you're posting them. Um, I'm just seeing that a lot. What color did I do this with, y'all? Where is my marker? Oh, it's right here. Oh, 19 degrees in Boston. Oh, that's just, no, ma'am. Why? Why? I just got cold thinking about that. Need the thicker. Like, the pictures of the snow are really pretty. So, for example, if you wanted to make this into a journal page, this could just say safety before social media, and then you could write some of the tips that we said in a short form, and that could actually be your journal page. Oh yeah, y'all can have that. Now you still got to be careful, because the reality, y'all, is there's this misconception that people feel like because they went to school with somebody back in the day and this, you don't know who is on your page, and you don't know everybody's intentions. But you know, all you can do is give suggestions, and people will do what they're gonna do. I know we love to show our kids off and stuff, but social media. Exactly. That part. In a minute. In a quick minute. And again, I think that's another reason, finding your local areas and allowing them. I think when people hear it from law enforcement, it's a little bit different than us as a layperson, telling somebody like, hey, you may want to fall back a little bit, because it comes across as hating, and it's not that. Oh, my friend request on Facebook has like 600 and some people, y'all. Like, and oddly enough, I don't really post as much on my regular page. I post more on my journal page than anything. And I even with like my close friends, I have them either, I don't either follow or I have them muted. And I do that intentionally because we're in a society now where people's friendships are based on social media. And I don't like that. So I will ghost a lot of my friends on purpose. So that when we talk, it's a genuine conversation, and it's not because this tends to come out. You're like, oh yeah, I saw on social media you had, and I just think that's real trifling and tacky. So I either ghost them, or if I follow when we talk, I can see something, but I won't. When they're like, oh, did you see my? And I'll be like, no, what's going on? Because we've gotten away from genuine relationships. If you're just joining, because I'm seeing the number go up and down, y'all, we had a long conversation. So hopefully you'll go check the replay out. Check the replay. I feel like you will be able to gain quite a bit of information for yourself as well as others. Right now, I'm just doing a closeout journal page. And that will be it for me after this. So tomorrow when y'all get y'all day started, just remember some of these tips and start implementing them. And I think y'all will be pretty good. And then I think after a while, y'all, it'll be a little more natural. You're welcome. All right, Pine, I'm stamping, but this thing I think is really dry, but it didn't do too bad, but it's actually drying out. But I said, let me get a little stamping in. Yeah, get back into journaling at your own pace. Any other day. My little black will be in front of me. Let's see. I said, let me go on and pull out a stamp before Pine call me out, because she gonna get me. Okay, so we got safety before social media. Girl, gotta get it together. So you working on your paper? Oh, that's a good one. Good night. Yeah, and I'm actually about to be right behind her. We are pretty much done. I'm just adding a little detailing, and that is it. But yeah, y'all, that was my day. And I'm glad I went, because I'm the type I would try to talk myself out of something real quick. But it was cool. Yeah, I don't know what I did with my 10-point jelly roll, because it shows up better. And so remember, if you do a safety before social media, you can create your tips that you want to write about. I don't have a ruler. No, that's not. And so in that little box would be some of the things that I mentioned in the video. And that is a page that you can create if you desire to do so. So that's what I'll do. So again, if you know anybody that can benefit from this video, y'all, please make sure to share the link and let them know it's giving tips that they could benefit from. And stay on alert. Stay off of those phones while you are pumping gas. Don't stop at sketchy places. And continue to be safe and have a good week, all right? So that's that. By the time I post this on Instagram, it may look a little bit different, but this is going to be it for now. I enjoyed you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video and you think this channel is a channel that you want to keep up with, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so every time I post, you are in the know. All right, y'all. Good night.